whip out every now and again just to kind of mess with them. Because they're going to be thinking, oh my goodness, I've never seen a Hwoarang player use that move before. And, you know, it's actually really, really good. Our next, I guess this is more or less a string. But our next one's going to be our up forward 3-4. I know these are technically launcher moves. The reason I wanted to point these out is because I've actually used these a couple times in like my pressure game. Like I'll do like, you know, whatever. I'll be doing my string thing and I'll just whip these out randomly. And believe it or not, the up forward 3 is -6 on block. The up forward 3-4 is actually -8 on block. So that sounds bad, but that's actually not as bad as it used to be. I actually stopped using these moves altogether because they used to be really, really punishable. But now it's just don't hit anything if it fails, and you should usually block whatever they do next. But if you try to do something afterwards, you'll probably trade. So be careful with it. But definitely whip it out every now and again. Let's see. So our next little bit is going to be our up forward 4 strings. So you have your up forward 4, your up forward 4-4, and your up forward 4-4-4. I guess that didn't go through right. So, and I'm gonna point a couple things out here. The first thing is even if that middle hit gets blocked, as long as it makes some kind of connection to their body, that low cannot be low parried. You can literally go try it out, go check it out, go test it out, whatever. But as long as that mid makes some kind of contact, whether it's blocked or whether it hits, that low cannot be low parried. So that makes this move extraordinarily useful. And another thing is I actually see a lot of people, they'll do this and they'll do the whole string. And I've never seen somebody just like do the high and then stop, or do the high mid and then stop. And the reason I point this out is if you watch the beginning of my video, you'll see how I mentioned how like if you do the 1-1, how it's sometimes better to do like down forward 4 or 4-2 or whatever, just because when they see the 1-1, every person that's fought Hwoarang has seen this 1-1 and they already know the next hit's going to be a low. So it's usually best to do the down forward 4 or something. And it's the same exact concept with your up forward 4-4 moves. So they see this, and almost every Hwoarang player knows that you're going to do your up forward 4-4-4. And every single one of them, if they have seen this string at all, is going to block the low. However, what people don't ever actually think of doing is maybe doing up forward 4 and then maybe back 3 or forward 3 or down forward 4. And something that I've implemented a few times that actually works is you do high mid, and then instead of doing that low, you create a new low. So you do your high mid and then they block low. So then you do a different low. Like, you know, something like that. You do a new low because they've already done their down back 4. And so at that point, they're going to go back onto the offensive, or they're going to stand back up. So this is where something like this would come into play. Like, obviously, it's not happening right now because I have my character set to guard. But typically, it's more times than not. That actually worked out for me. Especially because, you know, you do something like this and they're blocking low. So a big suggestion I would have is maybe doing up forward 4-4, doing the mid, and then like down forward 4, and see if they duck, how long they duck. Because if you do this and then this and you see them duck, but this still gets blocked, that means they do a relatively fast down back and then stand right back up. So that means you should have that little bit of leeway. Why does this work? And to do the down 3 or down 4 even, or something else, anything else. So that's all I wanted to really get into with that. I'm not trying to get into big detail or anything. So this next move is very situational, and I do want to take a second to point this out as well. But your next move is going to be your up 4 3 plus 4, and your up 4 3 plus 4 4. So I wanted to mention this because I see a lot of Hwoarang players use this. So my biggest thing is, if you're going to do this move, only do the up 4 3 plus 4. It's minus 10 on block. So by doing this move, you're probably going to get punched. So be very careful using this move even, because if it gets blocked, it's minus 10, so you'll probably get punched for it. It's very hard to do so, but you can be punched for it. If they do anything else, you block it, as long as you don't do anything afterwards. However, the up 4 3 plus 4 4 is minus 13 on block. So, and even on block, this leaves you in a really bad position. So, like a lot of Tekken players have a 12 frame startup of down 4 2. I think it's, let me see here. 13 frame startup, my bad. 12, 13, 14 frame startups to put you in the air. So typically, to do up 4 3 plus 4, up 4 3 plus 4 4, if it all gets blocked, you can be launch punished. It won't be a big launch. I mean, if they don't do a specific down forward 1 plus 2, or down forward 2, or whatever their quick launch might be, then you won't be. However, it can be. So this is one of those moves you want to be very, very careful with. I do use it a lot as well. Not the 4 part, but the up 4 3 plus 4 part, and it usually works out for me. So definitely whip that out every now and again, but be very careful if you want to end up adding that 4 in. So our next move is going to be our forward 4 3 and our forward 4. So our big differences with these is our forward 4 3 has a slower startup. It's 22 frames for startup, and our forward 4 has a 17 frame startup, so it's a little faster. However, our forward 4 3 is plus 6 on block, and our forward 4 is minus 6 on block. Again, in case I fucked that up, forward 4 3 is plus 6 on block. Our forward 4 is minus 6 on block. However, forward 4 3 does not have as great range, and our forward 4 has amazing range. So keep those in mind. A lot of things I like to do. Well, I'll get into it later. I don't want to get into it right now. I'll get too far ahead of myself. So our next move is going to be our forward neutral down forward 3, which is also known as the phalanx. This is actually a really, really useful new move, and it's plus 3 on block. This is a move I like to use a lot when I'm trying to close the distance really, really fast. I use this move a lot, actually, when there's distance to be closed. If I don't want to do forward 4, I'll just do this move. It's plus 3 on block, and yeah, it's really, really good. This isn't something I would do like right in their face, though. Like, I wouldn't do it like that because it has such a slow startup. However, it is plus 3 on block, so that works. So this next move, I did want to take them. Well, I don't want to get into that one right now. So you have. So your next moves are gonna be your wall running moves. So you actually have 2 of them for Hwoarang, which is gonna be his forward 3, or wall running 3, if you will, and you'll have his wall running 4. So again, where one has a benefit, the other has a negative. So his forward 3 high crushes. It's 22 frame startup, and it's +6 on block. And it's a mid. I'm making sure to point that out. It's a mid. And it knocks down on hit. Our forward 4 is an 18 frame startup, so it's a little faster. However, it is a high now. This is actually this is a high now. I think it might have been a high before. I'm not 100% positive. That's a high now. So that's one of the most moves to be careful of. It's +5 on block, and as you guys can see, if you hit, you end up behind them. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I think if you do it, you get a free down forward 4. It used to be that way for Tekken Tag Tournament 2. It might be different now, but so far I've been able to get away with it. So that's pretty much it. I do want to take a second to mention these moves for a moment. I don't know if you guys maybe have noticed, but when I go to do my wall running moves, I hit 3+4. Forward 3+4, and then I hit 4 2 more times. The reason I do that is, unlike any other character where you have to be specific, like you can do this with any character. It's typically you hit forward and then forward 4 2 more times really fast, and you can get it without doing it. However, a lot of people don't know how to do it, and even if I sit here and were to discuss the topic for a whole hour just to make it easier, a lot of people still aren't going to be able to catch on to how to do, this. Or see, I'm still messing up, and I know what I'm doing. So Hwoarang is the only person who has a noob version of doing it in front of their opponent's face. Now, if you remember before, I said you can get into right foot forward using 3+4. Now, if you hit 3+4 forward, all you have to do is hit forward 2 more times and then hit 3 or 4, and you can do a wall running move right in their face. Really, really easily. It might take a little bit of practice, but there it is, and do with it what you will. If you don't choose to do it, you don't have to. I have found it to be extremely useful. So like something like that happens, it's been really, really useful, especially on for opponents being picked, getting up. Let me try this here. Something like that ends up happening. So let's do. Trying to get him to do this here. There it is. That's not what I want. All right, so let's say they're right here, and people tend to do that a lot. So what I like to do, I've actually ended a lot of combos this way. So as you can see, that just happened. And that has happened for me more times than I can actually possibly point out. Like, this has actually worked out for me a lot more times than not. Let's see. I don't know. I don't think they actually get up I don't think they get up